This is Lisa from MobileTechReview, and this is a T-Mobile G1, the first Google Android phone. This is the black unit. Here it is in brown. Subtly different. As you can see, the keyboards are quite different. This one has much better contrast. This is the desktop view. And you can actually scroll in this direction and this direction. You can add shortcuts. These are standard that come with the phone: the dialer, contacts, browser, and maps. You can add any application or widget you like. And there it is. If you wish to add it to this screen, you do the same thing, and then you just choose Add. Pretty cool. Right now the only widgets are the clock that you see here, the Google search, and the other one is a photo frame. To look at the full selection of applications, touch this button here. And there's quite a few. Got an alarm clock, the Amazon MP3 store. You need to use Wi-Fi to actually download songs from the MP3 store, even if you're in a 3G coverage area. Calculator, the web browser, which is a WebKit web browser just like the iPhone and Nokia phones. Instant messaging, Gmail, regular email, Google Maps, because this is GPS built in. The Android market, which we'll take a look at in a minute. That's where you can download applications that are free or commercial. A YouTube player, settings, and a photo viewer. And of course the T-Mobile My Faves. We don't have anybody here, but it's the usual circular interface. Unlike the iPhone, you get a couple of hardware buttons here. We have the call, send, and end buttons. This is also the power off button if you press and hold it. The home button will always take you back to the home screen, and of course the back button just takes you back one step in whatever you were doing. The G1 has a sidekick-like keyboard. It's very usable, and the key placement is logical. The keys are a little flat to use. On the brown model, we had a bit of trouble actually seeing the letter masking on the background, and likewise the backlighting was lacking in contrast, but this one is much better. When you open a display, it automatically switches to landscape mode. You close it, goes back to portrait. Though the device has an accelerometer, it's not enabled in any of the built-in applications. Some third-party applications like the video player do support it. This does not come with the video player, nor does the camera record video itself, but there is a free third-party video player that handles a lot of popular formats. Or alternatively, you can use the trackball. This is a BlackBerry-like trackball. It is great. Really easy to control. You can use this to pan around in the browser if you don't feel like dragging the page around with your finger, scroll through things, press down to select an application. One thing to note with the G1 is most phones, the N key actually gets you out of whatever application you're using. With this, it's just going to dim the screen, or if you press and hold, it's going to turn the phone off. You actually have to hit the home button if you want to go back home, or the back button to get out of the application. You don't really quit applications on the G1. They get backgrounded, and the operating system's memory management handles killing the applications if necessary. This is Google Maps. This is using the GPS. You can see up here it's actually using the GPS. You can let it do tower triangulation using cell towers, or you can turn on the actual GPS, and if you're using the GPS you'll see it here. The high resolution display is fantastic for viewing maps. You can drag, scroll around, zoom in, zoom out. And there are options here for getting directions, typical Google Maps kind of text-based directions. You can search for POIs or for an address. You can hit My Location to find out where you are at the moment. You got map mode. You can go to map. You can get a satellite view. You can get a traffic map, and Google Street View is the first time we've seen Street View actually on a phone. It's pretty cool. We're filling in with the blue grid for Google Street View. Let's pick a location. And there it is, Street View. Next, we'll take a look at the web browser. It's an excellent browser. Here we're in the New York Times web page. Unlike Safari on the iPhone, you don't get an initial zoomed out page view. So the page is loaded and you can just drag around with your finger. Check out anything you want by just tapping on it. The actual transfer rates on T-Mobile's 3G network are pretty good. We're averaging nearly 900K, according to DSL Report's mobile speed test. The browser is a little slow given those data speeds, but then again, it's pulling a lot of weight here, doing full HTML rendering, but it's not as fast as Safari is on the iPhone. However, it does an even better job of handling JavaScript. There are some sites whose HTML menus, for example, don't work on the iPhone, and they work great on this, and this also supports Java. However, it doesn't support Flash in the browser. We've got bookmarks here. You can scroll through them. Also very controllable. And if you want to go to a URL, this is sort of like a feature phone. We're surprised there's no URL bar up top. You actually have to hit the menu, select go to URL, and then bring this up. There's also no on-screen keyboard, so if you want to enter your URL in here, you're going to have to open up the keyboard and start typing. And we're waiting on CNN. Not bad for 3G. So while the iPhone has the App Store, we have the Android market for Android phones. This is an easy way to download applications and games. You can see you can select by type of application or game. And folks vote on these applications that are uploaded, again, like the App Store and iTunes, so you can sort by popularity or by date added, which is pretty handy if you're an application addict and you just want to see what's been added in the past week. It's a great way to do it. You just do by date. Now the fun stuff. Let's check out YouTube. And this is using T-Mobile's 3G network right now. Pick a random video. Switches to landscape mode. There are a couple of games available right now. Some surprisingly good titles considering the fact they're free. We've got Namco Pac-Man right here. And here's another game called Bonsai Blast. It's a bust-a-move game with much prettier background graphics.